Wait, stop right there. Before you eat my ass in the comments because you're triggered by the title of this video, hear me out. The Xbox One X just came out and it's said to be significantly more powerful than the PS4 Pro. Even though that does seem to be the case, I don't think it's gonna help Microsoft out as much as they're hoping. Sure, extra power is always a plus, but Sony sold more than twice as many PS4s than Microsoft has Xbones thus far. And that fact has almost nothing to do with graphical capabilities and almost everything to do with Microsoft making an awful first impression. Stop typing your hate comments, I said hear me out. I'm not implying that Xbone's doing bad by any means, nor am I wanting that to be the case. Over 30 million consoles sold within 4 years is definitely impressive and nothing to worry about. It's just not as impressive as the 360 success during the same point in that console's life cycle, and again, not even close to the success of the PS4 that only came out a week earlier. Ever since the rocky start of the Xbox One, M-Dogs had trouble finding their footing to get back to the same level of success that they once had, which is a real shame because I do think Microsoft has it in them. And even though they are doing just fine, they could be way better. And since I'm such a good guy, I'll tell you where they slipped up and what they can do to excel even further. Mom, hurry, roll the intro, the battery's running out. Like I said before, the Xbox One launched a week after the PS4 to a rough start. The Forced Connect, wacky DRM policies, and a higher cost than the slightly more powerful PS4 left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. And I always talk about how graphics are less important today than ever before, but if you're paying more for less, then yeah, that is kind of a problem. Because you're basically paying $100 more for the Connect, which was a gimmick nobody cared about in the first place. So the fact that you were forced to buy it just sucked. For a gimmick to be successful, timing and marketing's everything. After all, the Wii ripped ass for those reasons alone, even if it didn't hold up as well years later. And even the Switch tablet's technically a gimmick, but unlike the connected Wii U gamepad, it's a gimmick people actually enjoy. And even though Xbox One ditched the Kinect, dropped the price, never even followed through with the DRM policies, and even went the extra mile to manually make almost every Xbox 360 game backwards compatible, it was just a case of too little too late. A lot more people already got a PS4 by this point, and those people could have just as easily invested in an Xbox One. So what solution does Microsoft have for this problem? Well, the main focus seems to be to make sure the Xbox One X surpasses the PS4 Pro graphically at all costs. Well, not all costs, just $100. We're at a weird time in gaming where the same console will keep releasing different models that have more power than the last without exactly starting a new console generation altogether. In 2017, gaming machines are transforming more than Dragon Ball characters, and the Xbox One X is gonna be like a super golden Mecha Frieza on Viagra. But in my opinion, that's not gonna change very many people's minds. If you already own an Xbox One, you might want to upgrade if you have the extra money, sure. I just don't think it's a must-have or anything like that for the average person. And the average consumer's where the money's at. It's gonna be much harder to get PS4 owners to spend $500 on another system that more or less plays the same games for a noticeably but ultimately marginal difference in power. I mean, if you don't own a PS4 or Xbox One at all, then maybe it makes sense to get the Xbox One X over the PS4 Pro, but you can't transfer your games or data over to another console, so an ass hair more power isn't gonna be enough to get PS4 owners to abandon their games and jump shit, or to divide their gaming libraries in two. Unless you're rich or something, nobody's gonna want to buy an Xbox One X for the multiplats and use their PS4 for the exclusives. I saw the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X comparisons for Middle-earth, and yeah, there's no question about it. It looks more clear and runs smoother on the Xbone X. It's just that, to the average person, the difference isn't night and day. It's not like comparing a PS1 and a PS2. If you want to buy Middle-earth and already have a PS4 Pro or even just a regular PS4, it's not gonna make you want to spend $500. And I know the idea is that if Monolith sets a standard with Middle-earth, then ideally other developers will utilize the One X rather than make games for the PS4 just to copy and paste them over. If the latter ends up being the case, then the extra power for the Xbone X will be rendered moot anyway, so the extra $100 is gonna be an anchor. Even if every multiplat looks better on the One X, I don't think it's gonna be enough to get people to switch over though, especially for 100 more cold hard American dollars. Or wherever you live, I don't know. What the Xbox One needs by far more than anything else is way more exclusives, not better graphics. Imagine a guy, let's just call him Bill, having a hot girlfriend for years who leaves Bill for another guy because Bill became too complacent with the relationship and starts becoming controlling because he thinks the girl will just put up with it. At first, this other guy, let's call him Denzel, is nicer, more caring, and most importantly, more exciting, plus he has a slightly bigger dong and doesn't want to set up what may or may not be a surveillance camera for the Illuminati in the girl's living room. And on top of that, he's $100 cheaper than Bill. These two guys are whores, by the way. Any similarities with real-life names and likenesses are strictly coincidental. Anyway, in an attempt for Bill to get the girl back, he stops being rude, washes his dirty ass, and tries harder to be a better guy all around. While the girl does appreciate the changes that were made, and despite the new guy becoming a little controlling himself, she already moved in with the new guy and has all her stuff stuff at his place. And besides, she still needs the excitement that only Denzel can give her. But rather than promising to give the girl more variety and experiences that Denzel or any other guy for that matter can't offer, he focuses all his effort on reminding her of old memories and to get his dong pumped so it's like 5 to 10% bigger and smoother than the new guys. The girl might see Bill on the side here and there, and he can still get babes in his own right, but Denzel ultimately gets the girl. All I'm saying is that graphics are still nice, but they're the least important thing Microsoft should be concerned with right now. I mean, they don't need to be so insecure about the size of their graphical performance that they need to change their name to Macrohard. In fact, they're doing just about everything right except the main thing they need to be focusing on. And if you read the title of this video, then you know that that's providing exclusive games that people have to play. Just look at all the games you can only play on the PS4. Mamma mia! Now look at the games exclusive to the Xbox One. Yikes. And don't get me wrong, if you prefer Xbox over PlayStation, that's awesome. The controller's definitely better, the online service is a standard for consoles, and there are some must-own games, just not enough. I was actually gonna get an Xbox One for Rise of the Tomb Raider, but for some reason it was only a timed exclusive. So obviously I decided to save a few $100s to play the definitive version a year later on my PS4. I mean, it's not like I don't have other games to keep me busy in the meantime anyway. So why the frig would Microsoft pay developers for a timed exclusive? How's that gonna sell any consoles? And even if you wanted to play the new Tomb Raider that bad, there was a good chance you were one of 60 million people who could already play it on the 360. So I just hope for Microsoft's sake they didn't pay too much to lock that game down for a year, because there's no way it sold very many Xbox Ones. Ever since Rise of the Tomb Raider, the thought of buying an Xbox One hasn't even crossed my mind until the recent release of the must-have exclusive Cuphead. I haven't played it that much, but for the 10 minutes I had my hands on it, I decided that this was the game that was gonna get me to buy an Xbox One, until I realized it wasn't even exclusive. I mean, you can get it on a PC. And then I realized I didn't have a PC, so I thought about getting an Xbox One again, but then I looked it up and it seems almost certain that I'll be able to play it on my Mac before long. So why would I spend a few $100s to play a $20 game a little bit sooner when I don't have to? Microsoft needs to make people have to buy their console. They need to turn people's shoulds into musts. I mean, Microsoft's shoulding all over themselves. I want to buy an Xbox One. It looks nice, and like I said before, the controller's probably the best ever, and the online service is second to none. But I just can't get myself to buy it just for the sake of having every console. Every game I actually want is gonna be on the PS4 as well, so what's the point? The few exclusives the Xbox One actually has aren't games that I personally care about. And graphics mean almost nothing to me anymore since pretty much every game in 2017 looks fine at worst on every device. I think I can speak for almost everybody when I say good gameplay is more important than anything. And I'll gladly take nice graphics and even a good gimmick every now and then as an added bonus. But come on, Microsoft, give us games you can't get anywhere else. I mean, you own Rare after all. Make a new Banjo or a Conquer game. And I'm not talking about that eighth of an ass attempt at a Conquer game you made a few years ago just so you guys could say, well, we tried to bring Rare franchises back, but no one wanted it. Give us a real deal Conquer a Banjo game with all the bells and whistles, a full retail release, and more effort actually put forth. Or at least something that isn't Forza or Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball. The graphics, controller, online, and everything else are fine and dandy. But if the Xbone's ever gonna see its full potential, then it's gonna need to stand out a little more. And for the last time, I know the console's doing just fine. I just think it could do way better, and I want every game company to do well, so we as consumers have more options. What do you think, though? Am I just a random ass butt on the internet? Should Microsoft stay on course and ignore the pleas of a supple young child like myself? Or do you think the Xbox One needs more exclusives capable of competing with the likes of Persona 5 and Crash Bandicoot? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll pin whatever comment I find most entertaining. And don't forget to like and share this video to help this channel build a little more street cred. And if you're super badass and cool, which I know you are, then hit the subscribe button as well, you sexy beast. My name's Cameron, and I'll see you next time.
So I want to say thank you to your loyalty. Thank you for your support.